We also know that you're mature. Well, we hope you are. But we also know that you're mature and that you'll handle stress well. The reason you'll handle stress well, this is my experience with our clients, is that you've seen it all before. If you've been in business 20 to 30 years and you're going to get rehired into the same position and you're working alongside a 20 or 30-year-old person that just got out of the school, they haven't seen the failures, the successes, the crises. They haven't experienced that, and you have. So you bring so much to the table. And the thing that we need to do with the multi-generational workforce is to remember that we have to embrace it. We have to embrace the 20, 30, 40-year-olds, okay? Sometimes, I mean, the way some of us were raised, I mean, I have 3 stepsons, and one of them wears his pants down to his knees and mumbles when he talks to me, and I would never hire him. It's not going to happen until he puts his pants up and, communicates in an articulate way. But at Dear Jane, we hire people that are 25 to 70 because we believe in a multicultural and diverse workforce, okay? We can all learn from each other. I like Carly Fiorina, and I watch a lot of, not a lot, but YouTube videos, and you can learn a lot. I'm a visual person, and you all know probably, she's the former CEO of HP, and she states in her presentation to the Stanford University's venture program that everybody, she gives this presentation, it's like 5 minutes, everybody is afraid of something, especially something new. We are. I don't know what you're afraid of, I know what I'm afraid of, but we are. And if you want to read a great little book that's $13 or free at the library, please pick up Who Moved My Cheese? How many of you know about it? Do you like it? I wish I would have had it before we got acquired and I got pushed out at 41. But it's okay. We've got a long time to work and have fun, so please go and get it. It's phenomenal. She goes on to say that change is always resisted because people are afraid. And to overcome fear, they need to have a vision of something worth striving for. So at this point in your life and in your career transition, I want to ask you, take 5 seconds. You probably already have the answer. What's your 5-year career plan or vision? Now I know you're thinking, I hate that question. Why is she asking that question? Because we all hate it when we interview. Because we could be dead tomorrow, we could move to Paris. I mean, there's a lot, that's hard. We live, hopefully, in the present, one day at a time. But it's going to sustain you through this tough time. It's going to sustain you to have a positive vision about yourself. It will sustain you and keep you going in job search if you're hanging around positive people. It's not people's fault that they're negative and they're depressed in job search. It's human nature. But at Dear Jane, we move you through it. That's the bottom line. If you are not employed within 2.5 months or 3 months, I haven't done my job. Now, I have that attitude, and all of our coaches have that attitude because we're former recruiters and headhunters and HR practitioners. We don't want to just sit and look at Ian and say, wow, you were an executive speechwriter for the CEO at Sun Microsystems, and you're really cool, and so what do you want to do next? And I mean, the first day I met Ian, he's the gentleman taping us, he's a former client of mine, and poor guy, I don't think he knew what hit him when he met with me. I had a homework list and an action item list that blew his mind, because that's how we are. We have to get you into action. She also says that even though people are not satisfied in what they're doing, it could be anything, work, personal life, family, marriage, they still don't make changes because they are afraid to venture into the unknown, and fear holds them back from change. Most of you in this room, and most of our clients, and even myself, I would have never left. The last company I left in 2004, I was basically pushed out. I didn't fit the culture. I worked for the same company for 8 years, direct fit. We were a niche boutique staffing firm. The big enemy, publicly held company staffing firm came in and bought us. The only reason they kept me is I was the top producer in the company. And they respected that, and they liked the book of business I had. 6 months after my guarantee, my 6-figure guarantee, all of a sudden one day the manager just didn't like me. He just didn't like me. And I know a lot of you in this room know what I'm talking about. Just one day, I didn't have the right hairdo, and man, I didn't get asked to lunch. I didn't drink, I didn't smoke cigarettes, I wasn't a size 2, I didn't fit the culture, and I knew it. The reason I tell you that story is I would have not had the courage at that time in 2004 to start Dear Jane. So the universe kicked me out and said, go start Dear Jane, because we knew there was a huge need out there to teach people the how-tos. So most of us don't change, even if we're unhappy. So are you letting fear stand in your way of making changes? That's what I want you to ask yourself. One thing we see a lot of in job search, and this doesn't matter if you're 22 or you're 50 or you're 70, is we make so many assumptions. So many assumptions. And that's why I'm proud of you, and I'm happy that you're out and here today, because you're going to hear a lot of great things from each other and from the vendors. We immediately feel handicapped and less than, like I said. We immediately think that we have no career options and that we won't ever have fun again. I hear that a lot. Oh my God, I had a family at my last company. We worked together 25 years. It's kind of like you knew the enemy within, and you knew that they would stay away and you'd stay away, and you knew the family members that you loved. It was your family. It was your home for 25 years. And you know what, Rebecca? I am never going to be able to recreate that. I'm never going to be able to find that type of work environment. You're right. You probably won't. But who cares? You've got so many other opportunities to find new environments. So you just want to accept that it's a huge loss. Huge loss. We coached a gentleman that had been at a company for 40 years in Hayward. Saddest thing I've ever seen. He said, Rebecca, this is worse than losing my parents. Because, and we all know what he's talking about, because he worked there, blood, sweat, and tears for 40 years, and in one day, they walked him off the job. I have a client here that worked at a company for 41 years. She's here today. One day, security walked her off the job. Acted like they didn't know her. Now that's humiliating, that's hurtful, but it gets better. It gets better. So we feel, because of those situations, like our life is over sometimes. You also feel like they're going to judge you because maybe we're not as flexible, we're not as creative maybe at our age, because, you know, been there, done that. If you've worked in business for 20 to 30 years, we've worked the 15-hour days. We've developed the new programs. We've maintained them. We've hired the best staff. We've achieved 300% of our goals. And you know what? The bottom line is we don't want to work. Some of us don't want to work 15 hours a day at 55. It's okay. All you have to do is align with the companies that fit your value system and the type of culture you want to be in. And we'll tell you how to find those. You think the deck is stacked against you, so why even try to compete with younger generation? And all of this information that I'm stating here is what I hear every day, and what we hear about how our clients feel at 50 plus years old.